Hey everyone, and welcome. We've got such a cool story for you today, a story that's way older than the oldest tree you've ever seen and bigger than the biggest mountain you can imagine. Yep, we're going to journey way back in time to a moment before, well, before anything.
You know when you look up at the sky at night and you see all those sparkly stars? Do you ever just stop and wonder, where did all of this even come from? It's a really big question, right? Well, today we're going to check out one of the oldest stories in the world that tries to explain it. So, let's try to imagine something. A time with no sun, no earth, not even you or me. Yeah, it was even before time, before clocks even had anything to tick for. Try to picture it. It was like being in a giant room with all the lights turned off. It's super dark, so dark you can't even see your hand in front of your face. And it's so quiet, totally silent. That's kind of what the whole universe was like back then. Just nothing. So where does this amazing story come from? Well, it's from some super old stories from India called the Vedas. They are so old, nobody's even sure when they started. It's almost like they're a secret whisper from the very beginning of everything. What are the Vedas? Well, a long time ago, there were wise people called sages, and they would sit very still and think really deeply. It was almost like they were listening to the universe's secrets with their hearts. And what they learned is part of something called Sanatan Dharma. Now, that sounds like a big phrase, but all it really means is an eternal way. It's kind of like a story that doesn't have a beginning. It doesn't have an end. It just is.
Today's Hinduism is called Sanatan Dharma, which means an eternal way. Something that has no beginning or end, like a never-ending story of life and creation.
So you're probably wondering, how do we even know about this? Well, the story goes that a long time ago, there were these really wise people called sages, and they would sit really still and just think. They thought super hard about all the biggest questions, and one day, they heard this secret magical whisper that told them the whole story. So those words you see, that's what they heard. It's in a really ancient language called Sanskrit. Kind of sounds like a secret magical spell, right? It totally does. And believe it or not, those secret-sounding words tell us exactly what the beginning of everything looked like. So, you want to know what it says?
Tamam, asit, tamasa, guryam, agrey, apraketam, salilam, sarvam, idam. Before the universe began, everything was like a dark, quiet ocean, where nothing had shape yet, and everything was waiting to be created.
Okay, so the whisper said that in the very beginning there was just darkness everywhere, but hidden inside all that darkness was water. And get this, standing together in that water were these amazing glowing beings, the gods. Wow, just try to picture that for a second. These super bright, shiny beings just standing in a huge, dark ocean. It's pretty cool, right? So, what do you think they were doing there? Just hanging out in the dark? Well, they started to dance. How cool is that? And we're not talking about just any dance. This was a giant, cosmic dance full of energy and happiness, happening right in the middle of this big, dark ocean. And as they were dancing, all their movements started stirring things up. Yeah! They made this amazing swirl of magical dust. You know? It was probably like when you shake a snow globe or put glitter in water and watch it swirl around, just like that. And they started moving faster and faster, and that swirl just got bigger and brighter. The whole place was just spinning with light and energy. You could just feel that something totally amazing was about to happen. And then, right from the middle of the swirl, they pulled something huge out of the water. It was the sun. And just like that, poof, the darkness was all gone. Yep, for the very first time, there was light everywhere, and it was warm and cozy. No more dark, empty room. I mean, how amazing is that? Think about it. Before they started dancing, it was just dark and wet. But after the dance, bam, we got the sun, we got our planet Earth, and we got that big blue sky. That one dance literally created our whole world. So, with all this new light from the sun, they put the finishing touches on everything. They made our home, planet Earth, and then they stretched the sky out over it, like a giant, beautiful blue blanket they called heaven.
You know, our universe is just so full of wonder and magical stories, and this is just one of them. Isn't it a cool idea that maybe everything we see started with a super happy dance?
So, the next time you're outside at night and you look up at all those stars, maybe you can picture that giant cosmic dance happening. And it makes you wonder, right? What other amazing stories is the universe hiding? Keep asking those big questions. Thanks for listening to our story today.